The greatest showdown in baseball is about to unfold, and it's not just a game, it's a collision of titans that could rewrite history.
It's going to be great. Shohei Ohtani versus Vladimir Guerrero. Must-watch TV. Where's your popcorn, Poppy?
Oh, you already know, baby. I be watching.
Two superstars, two teams with everything to prove, one championship. The Los Angeles Dodgers are gunning to become the first back-to-back champions in 25 years, while the Toronto Blue Jays are chasing their first title since 1993. Ben Verlander and Derek Jeter said the Dodgers and Ohtani were the favorites.
Nobody had Shohei Ohtani. Nobody was as talented as the Dodgers.
Dodgers are a juggernaut. They're playing as well as I've seen any team play in years. Dodgers are going to be heavy favorites here.
But A-Rod and Blue Jays coach John Schneider said the odds were even and the two teams were tied.
I truly think that the best two teams are left standing, for a variety of different reasons.
But this is not David versus Goliath. This is truly Goliath versus Goliath.
But this series runs deeper than trophies and records. There's heartbreak, betrayal, and unfinished business written all over it. And when the first pitch is thrown Friday night at Rogers Center, the entire baseball world will be watching. Shohei Ohtani just delivered what many are calling the greatest single-game performance in baseball history, 3 towering home runs and 10 strikeouts on the mound in the same night to send the Dodgers back to the World Series. The unicorn, the two-way phenom who does things nobody's ever done. On the other side stands Vladimir Guerrero Jr., playing like a man possessed, breaking down in tears after leading Toronto to their first Fall Classic appearance in over 3 decades.
Feeling right now.
We do this for the city, man. We do this for y'all. 4 more, baby. 4 more.
6 postseason home runs, an emotional promise to win it all for his Hall of Fame father. The ultimate boss battle between 2 generational talents, and only one can walk away victorious. This isn't just baseball, this is legacy on the line. The numbers tell an insane story. Vladdy's slashing an absurd .442 with a 1.44 OOPS this postseason, the 3rd best mark in history for anyone with at least 40 plate appearances. He's only struck out 3 times while launching 6 bombs. Meanwhile, Ohtani won NLCS MVP after his historic 3-homer, 10-strikeout masterpiece in Game 4. He's rewriting the record books with every swing and every pitch. These are 2 players operating on a completely different level, and they're about to collide on baseball's biggest stage. But here's where the story takes a brutal turn. The Blue Jays almost had Ohtani. December 2023 felt like destiny in Toronto. Private jets were tracked landing at Pearson Airport. A locker was prepared with his favorite coffee and orange juice stocked. Even his dog Decapene got a Canadian flag outfit. The city held its breath. Rogers Center was buzzing with anticipation. And then, Ohtani chose the Dodgers instead, signing that earth-shattering 10-year, $700 million deal that changed baseball forever. Toronto fans were absolutely crushed. The heartbreak was real. Now, 2 years later, the player who rejected them stands between Toronto and glory. The narrative writes itself, except it's brutally, painfully real. And Ohtani isn't even the only ghost haunting this matchup. The Dodgers also snatched Roki Sasaki away from Toronto this past offseason, signing the Japanese phenom for just $6.5 million. The Blue Jays were in hard on both players. They lost both to LA. Now Sasaki's their closer, and he's been lights out. Talk about adding insult to injury. Then there's George Springer. Remember him? The guy who absolutely demolished the Dodgers in the 2017 World Series, hitting 5 home runs and earning MVP honors with the Houston Astros. Yeah, that series, the one forever tainted by the sign-stealing scandal that still makes Dodgers fans' blood boil. Springer's now wearing a Blue Jays uniform, and he just hit the most clutch home run of the postseason, a 3-run blast in the 7th inning of Game 7 that turned a 3-1 deficit into a 4-3 lead and sent Seattle packing. He's being called one of the greatest postseason performers ever. The man thrives in October, and he's got unfinished business with LA. You better believe he's coming for blood, and Dodgers fans will be letting him hear it every time he steps to the plate. But wait, there's more drama. Teoscar Hernandez is playing right field for the Dodgers, and he spent 6 seasons in Toronto from 2017 to 2022, winning 2 Silver Sluggers with the Blue Jays. He knows that clubhouse. He knows Rogers Center, and now he's trying to beat his former team for a championship. Hernandez has been clutch this postseason, going 11 for 41 with 4 homers, including a massive game-tying blast in Game 2 of the NLCS. Toronto fans love this guy, and now he's the enemy. Talk about conflicting emotions. The Dodgers haven't just been good this postseason, they've been downright terrifying. A 9-1 record through the first 3 rounds. They swept the Cincinnati Reds in the wild card. They demolished the Philadelphia Phillies. Then they made the league's best offense, the Milwaukee Brewers, look completely helpless, holding them to 1 run per game in a 4-game sweep. Blake Snell has been absolutely untouchable, posting a microscopic 0.86 ERA with 28 strikeouts in just 21 innings. In Game 1 of the NLCS, he faced the minimum through 8 innings, striking out 10 and allowing just 1 hit. Yoshinobu Yamamoto threw a complete game gem in Game 2. This rotation isn't just elite, it's historically dominant, and Toronto's offense is about to walk into the buzzsaw. And let's talk about the supporting cast. Mookie Betts moved to shortstop this year, his first season without playing a single game in the outfield, and became a Gold Glove finalist at the position. The guy's a 6-time Gold Glover, 7-time Silver Slugger, and 3-time World Series champion. Then there's Freddie Freeman, the 2020 MVP who's been through the wars this postseason but always finds a way to deliver. Freeman and Betts have won 2 titles together already, and they're hungry for a third. This is a dynasty in the making, and they know it. Behind the plate, Will Smith gives the Dodgers another massive advantage. The 3-time All-Star had a career year, hitting .296 with 17 homers before a foul tip fractured his right hand in September. He missed time but battled back for the playoffs. Smith struggled early in the postseason, but he looked like his old self in the NLCS, going 6 for 15 with 2 walks. He says the hand's no longer bothering him, which is huge for LA. And get this, Will Smith has won the World Series 5 straight years, either the catcher or the reliever with the same name. If he wins again, that's 6 consecutive years with a Will Smith champion. Wild stuff. Dave Roberts, the Dodgers manager, is chasing history too. He's already got 2 World Series titles and 5 pennants in 10 years. If he wins this one, he'll tie Tommy Lasorda with 3 championships and move into rare air. Only 7 managers in baseball history have won 3 or more titles. Roberts is also the first manager of Asian heritage to win a World Series, and he's built one of the greatest dynasties in Dodgers history. 6 of the franchise's 13 winningest seasons ever have come under his watch. The man knows how to win in October, and he's got his team clicking at the perfect time. Every powerhouse has a crack in the armor, though, and for the Dodgers, it's their bullpen. All season long, it's been their Achilles heel of 4.27 ERA, 26 blown saves, and enough meltdowns to make any manager sweat. They've masked it brilliantly in October by riding their starters deep into games, but you can't do that forever. Enter Roki Sasaki, the rookie sensation who failed as a starter, got hurt, came back, and somehow transformed into their closer. He's been electric in the postseason, 3 saves, a 1.29 ERA, absolutely dealing out of the pen. But can he pitch in every close game? That's the gamble Dave Roberts is taking. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays bullpen isn't exactly a fortress either, but their contact-heavy lineup is built to grind through at bats, work counts, and force LA's relievers into action. If Toronto can get to the Dodgers' pen early and often, this series flips on its head. The Blue Jays have their own secret weapon, defense. Toronto led all of baseball in defensive runs, saved the past 2 seasons, and ranks 4th in 2025. They have 7 players with at least 5 runs saved this season, the most of any team. Ernie Clement has been deployed at all 4 infield positions and totaled 11 runs saved. Andres Gimenez is elite at second base. This is a team built on preventing runs just as much as scoring them. And while Matt Chapman left Toronto for San Francisco after 2023, his defensive legacy lives on. He won Gold Gloves with the Blue Jays and set the standard for what elite defense looks like. The current group has maintained that standard. The Blue Jays have their own drama brewing too. Bo Bichette, their all-star shortstop who was hitting .311 with an .840 OPS before getting hurt, has been out since early September with a sprained knee. He's been trying to come back, doing light running and taking batting practice, but he's still not at full strength. Manager John Schneider said Bichette is making significant progress, but nobody knows if he'll actually play in the World Series or just be a pinch hitter. If he can't go, it's Andres Gimenez at shortstop and Ernie Clement or Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at second base. But if Bichette does return, he's also potentially playing his last games in a Blue Jays uniform. Insiders say Toronto plans to cut ties with him after the season. Imagine playing in the World Series knowing your team might not want you back. That's the situation he's in. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, money. The Dodgers have a $350 million payroll, and when you add in luxury tax penalties, they're spending over $500 million this year. That's more than the Reds, Brewers, and several other teams combined. Critics say they're ruining baseball, buying championships, exploiting loopholes with deferred contracts. But here's the thing, they're reinvesting 73% of their revenue back into the team. The Yankees, 50%. The Dodgers aren't just spending, they're spending their own money better than anyone else. They draft well, develop talent, and make smart signings. Yes, they have advantages. Yes, their payroll is massive, but they're also just better at this than everyone else. Game 1 sets the tone, and it's a heavyweight clash. Blake Snell takes the ball for Los Angeles Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The guy who's been absolutely dealing all October. For Toronto, it's likely Kevin Gausman, their ace with a 2.00 postseason ERA and ice in his veins. Though there are whispers they might roll with 22-year-old Trey Yesavage, who's been a postseason revelation with dominant performances in the ALCS. Either way, the Rogers Center will be rocking like never before, home field advantage for a fan base that's waited 32 years for this moment. And those fans paid through the nose to be there. Ticket prices, absolutely bonkers. Face value tickets sold out in minutes, and resale prices started at over $1,200 for nosebleed seats. Premium seats behind home plate, $10,000 or more, including fees. One fan found a ticket listed at nearly $12,000, with over $2,000 in Ticketmaster fees alone. For comparison, the last time Toronto hosted the World Series in 1993, tickets in the 100 level were $78. Adjusted for inflation, that's about $220 today, but those same seats now cost over $1,500. Scalpers and bots grabbed most of the face value tickets and immediately relisted them at markup. Fans are furious, but the demand is through the roof. This is what happens when a nation starves for 32 years. Weather could also play a factor. Late October in Toronto isn't exactly beach weather. Current forecasts show temperatures in the mid to high 50s Fahrenheit for the weekend, with a chance of rain and cooler conditions as the series progresses. Toronto's already had a brutal summer with extreme heat, and now they're transitioning into what forecasters predict will be a cold, snowy start to winter. If temperatures drop into the 40s for the later games at Rogers Center, it could favor pitchers and make the baseball harder to drive. Cold weather baseball is unpredictable, and both teams will need to adjust. The Dodgers are heavy favorites at -220, but the Blue Jays aren't just happy to be here. They clawed back from an 0-2 hole against Seattle in the ALCS. They've got momentum, they've got Vladdy on an otherworldly heater, and they've got an entire country behind them. Canada hasn't had a World Series champion since 1993, and the nation is absolutely starving for this. This is more than baseball, it's national pride on the line. So what happens when these two juggernauts collide? The experts are almost unanimous Dodgers in 5 or 6 games. The pitching is too good, the talent too deep, the experience too vast, the payroll too massive. But here's the thing, Toronto doesn't care what Vegas thinks. Vladdy's batting .442 with 6 homers and just 3 strikeouts this October. The contact and power combination is completely absurd. Springer's hitting clutch bombs. Their rotation has been solid with Gausman, Yesavage, and Shane Bieber stepping up. And if they can exploit that Dodgers bullpen and string together some high-scoring games, all bets are off. One expert predicted this could be one of the highest-scoring World Series ever, with over 80 total runs between both teams. Expect fireworks. Expect drama. Expect late innings chaos. Ohtani's also lined up to potentially pitch Game 3 or 4 at Dodger Stadium, which would be must-see television. Nobody knows exactly when or if he'll take the mound, but the fact that it's even possible adds another layer to this already insane series. Can you imagine Ohtani pitching in the World Series while also being the DH and MVP favorite? That's the kind of history we're talking about. As for MVP odds, Ohtani's the clear favorite, but Vladdy at +700 is tempting if Toronto can pull off the upset. Freeman and Betts are also in the mix if the Dodgers dominate. But this series feels like it's going to come down to 2 things: which bullpen holds up better, and whether Vladdy can keep this supernatural hitting streak going. The stakes couldn't be higher. For the Dodgers, it's about cementing their place as a modern dynasty. Back-to-back titles, 5 pennants in 10 years. A $500 million investment finally paying off in back-to-back championships. For Dave Roberts, it's a third ring and a ticket to Cooperstown. For Ohtani, it's validation of his decision to join LA and another piece of his legacy. For Will Smith, it's about continuing the most bizarre championship streak in baseball history. For the Blue Jays, it's about redemption and proving they belong. It's about Vladdy honoring his father, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the Hall of Famer who never won a championship. It's about George Springer getting revenge on the team that watched him beat them in 2017. It's about a nation starved for baseball glory, a fan base that's waited 32 years, paying thousands of dollars just to witness history, and a roster that refused to quit when they were down 0-2. This isn't David versus Goliath. This is Goliath versus Goliath. Two juggernauts, two teams loaded with MVPs, aces, and all-stars, two franchises with everything on the line. Shohei Ohtani, the man who does things no one in history has ever done, facing Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the emotional warrior trying to win a ring for his father and an entire nation. The Dodgers chasing dynasty status and back-to-back titles. The Blue Jays chasing redemption and a 32-year drought. When the final out is recorded at Rogers Center or Dodger Stadium, one team will celebrate on the field in pure euphoria, while the other watches their season end in devastating heartbreak. One superstar will hoist the trophy, the other will wonder what could have been. And when titans like these collide, when legends put everything on the line, when a nation holds its breath, and the baseball world watches in awe, history isn't just made, it's cemented forever. This is the boss duel baseball has been waiting for. This is Ohtani versus Vladdy. This is the finale. And it all starts Friday night under the lights at Rogers Center. The stage is set. The stakes are maximum. Let's see who rises to the moment. As the dust settles on the field and the echoes of this historic duel fade, one truth remains: legends aren't just born, they're earned under the brightest lights. Whether it's Ohtani rewriting records or Vladdy chasing a family dream, this World Series will be remembered for its fire, drama, and unforgettable moments. This is the Show Insider, bringing you the stories that shape the game, the rivalries that fuel the passion, and the clashes that become baseball history. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more exclusive breakdowns, hot takes, and all the latest from the heart of MLB. Who will rise and who will watch their glory slip away? Stay tuned, because at the Show Insider, the story never ends.